Our boy Bell has finally accomplished what's been in the title for now 3 seasons. Our boy finally picked up a girl in the dungeon. Took 3 seasons, 2 seasons, 1 episode to be exact, but this man has finally accomplished it. And honestly, I recently just completed season 1 and 2. I originally watched season 1 when it initially aired. I was kind of indifferent to it. I thought it looked fun and it was pretty, but I wasn't overly invested. But I was like, it's time to give it an honest-to-go shot. We're getting a 3rd season. There's gotta be something here. And I know a lot of people talk smack about season 2. I just finished a rewatch of season 1 and my first watch of season 2 last night before this first episode aired, and I enjoyed them both a lot. Actually, I enjoyed them more in this binge format than ever before, and I've actually become a really big Don Machi fan after my completion of season 2. So this became one of my most anticipated walking into fall, which I never thought I would hear myself saying. And I didn't know what I wanted to see. I know with the end of season 2, there was an after the credits scene where you have Hsieh, I believe is how you say her name based on how the characters seemingly are saying it. I knew we were going to have something to do with this monster girl. I just didn't know what was going to happen, and our boy has seemingly accomplished the end game. We don't need any more. He's picked up a girl in the dungeon, right? But honestly, I think there's a lot of possibilities for a narrative this season, because I think there's definitely going to be a lot of dungeon crawling based on the fact that it seems like there's something going on deep down in the dungeon where apparently monsters are being given intelligence, which is an amazing subplot, if not main plot point, depending on where they want to go. Season 2, I know some people have said the pacing was iffy in terms of how much they adapted, and they're also fearful that season 3, because of the 12-episode length runtime, it's going to basically have the same rushed pacing. I'm not exactly sure because I binged it. I felt the pacing minus 1 episode towards the middle of season 2 was pretty good. So I don't know if it just left out a lot of information, but based on this episode getting us really on board with the narrative this time around, I'm really invested. They actually did things that I thought they were never going to touch upon, because really all they had to do was you introduce basically a child in a teenage adult body who basically has no life experience because she obviously was a monster, or she grew up in a very quick environment and honestly has no knowledge on what to do or what to say. And then she's obviously overly attached to Belle because Belle is basically growing the strongest harem known to man. However, all they needed to do was keep her cute and adorable, and the fandom would eat it up. Hell, I was eating it up because I was like, we gotta protect this girl. She's a monster, sure, and she could easily rip our head off, but seriously, she's precious and adorable. And they actually went into territory that I have to commend the author for, because I feel like a lot of times authors would just keep it cute and adorable because they know the fans are going to eat it up. There's a moment where she actually savagely rips into Belle's arm, and I was like, oh, they're actually going into the dangers here. Because generally, when you see a show like this, where Belle, yes, he obviously is building a giant harem and he really just wants to be a hero and protect his goddess, at the end of the day, it just feels like people will latch onto him like a magnet because that's how these type of characters are written. And I think that's why I initially pushed it off in season 1, because I felt like I was assuming a little more. But seeing how they're actually exploring a lot of these topics, I'm really liking it. Obviously, you knew Belle wasn't going to smack her upside the head or something, but it was nice to see that they're actually saying she is a monster, and there's actually legit reasons why characters like Miss Supporter would be like, this is insane, even if our goddess is saying we have to take her in. This is going to cause us trouble. Why is there a monster with intelligence to begin with? Also, do you really want to sleep under the same roof? Even though it was a complete and utter accident and they did shave down her nails later, which I like those little details, right? He gets cut up with his arm, he's not mad, but I mean, yeah, she has fangs, she probably has, a lot of things that could easily kill him just because she's overly attached to Belle and she latches onto him and in doing so rips out his spine without knowing. So I like how they're actually filing down her nails and, trying to turn her into a more human-looking person so she doesn't accidentally do things. But at the same time, monsters are generally pretty strong. Can she accidentally break an arm? You don't know, right? So there's actually a lot of interesting territory to go with this in terms of the series, but this episode was mostly precious. We know it's not going to last forever. We know this is going to cause a lot of drama, especially because there's multiple groups looking into this entire plot point here. And our boy is basically chilling in the backyard where owls are spying down on everything transpiring. But when you have characters like Haruhime and you have Belle just almost acting like mother and father to this monster child, it's precious and adorable, and it makes you melt unless you're an ice cold bastard. And I used to be an ice cold bastard, but goddamn scenes like these melt your heart and it makes you into an emotional wreck. It was just really precious to see something that's so different, and while it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, I think the character design, the voice acting really got across this, it's a child, it's someone who knows nothing. looking at the sun, not knowing what that is. It's a very sheltered lifestyle, and you want to see her be able to be protected, but at the same time, how can you? Because even if you deal with the people who created her, are you actually going to be able to take her dungeon crawling? Because even though like characters like Haruhime are the maid of the mansion, she also is still going in the dungeon because she has spells that can do like level boosting, right? So I mean, obviously she'd be an intelligent warrior if she could really grow accustomed to who she is and things like that, but I mean, she's always going to be hunted, so where do you actually want to go with that plot? And that's the question I think that's really going to drive Season 3 forward. And in terms of pacing, I mean, like I said, I binged Season 1 and 2, and maybe in a binge it's easier to not see pacing issues if you're watching it weekly, because there is a lot more downtime moments in Season 2, but then I also heard that a lot of things got rushed past. In a binge, I just really had a fun time with this, and in terms of kind of first watching this again weekly since Season 1 initially aired, I felt like a lot happened, but it also had plenty of downtime to really get characters' perspectives, like when they were all just like pissed off at Belt. I like that, despite him being their leader. At the same time, when you see your commander bringing a monster with you just because she has a pretty face, you're ready to smack him upside the head and interrogate him like, have you been indoctrinated, right? But then when she starts actually speaking, that's when everyone gets confused, being like, oh, we gotta ask Hsieh because we have no idea what's happening here. I feel like JC staff really had fun with this episode, but binging Season 1 and 2, it's definitely clear. I feel like, this is just my personal opinion, obviously don't quote me on this, I feel like this is one of the more fun shows that they have to adapt, because JC staff does get ripped into for presentations like with One Punch Man Season 2, but that's looked shitty because of the production committee really giving them no time to flesh it out. You know, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Has always looked amazing. The animation quality is some of the best for this kind of style of anime. And I feel like this, for the little glimpses we did get, I mean, at the intro and stuff like that, it looks like it's going to be just as high quality. And coming off of Season 1 and 2, despite there being gaps between all three seasons, it doesn't feel like the production style has changed in the slightest, which is a good sign going forward. And I don't know how many novels are left to adapt after where Season 3 is going to leave off, but I'm already hoping for a Season 4. I mean, that's how much I'm a fan at this point in time. I just really enjoy slice-of-life downtime moments in unnatural situations, and what's more unnatural than having a monster who's talking and basically acting like a 3-year-old child in the face of an adventurer who just wants to pick up girls in the dungeon as per his grandpa's request. It's so interesting to see the formula really getting shifted, and something I do have to compliment is how each season has done something different. The only thing I really was hoping more of with Season 2 was more dungeon crawling, because I think it's an interesting concept, so I'm hoping that there's going to be some decent amount in this time around, but even if we stay on the surface for most of it, I think there's such an intriguing mystery plotline going on that's actually shaking up the foundation that we know about Danmachi's world, that I think it's going to really stick its landing. I mean, I'm sure this could easily fall flat on its face for many light novel readers. I mean, that seemingly is what happened with Season 2. But for me, it just feels like this is carrying on with what I saw from Episode 1 of Season 1 all the way to Episode 12 of Season 2. And I'm hoping they continue on that trend, because this is a very fun show with, honestly, an intriguing cast of characters. And I really like Belle's group and how it actually feels like a family kind of growing, despite there obviously being that kind of like harem element kind of like all latching onto them. I mean, at the end of the day, they all love each other. It's just some love them a little more than maybe Belle recognizes, but that's kind of part of the charm of Danmachi. Really enjoying my stay with Danmachi so far, but let me know your thoughts and feelings either for source material readers or anime originals. If you are an anime original, what do you think of the new character, and do you want to protect her like probably most of the anime community will, or do you want to toss her off a cliff? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, of course, if you'd like to share your support and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.